Hi, everybody. Welcome to our video. Today, I'm gonna have one of my previous brides, Paula, here with me to share her story, how they had a vow renewal in the Dolomites in September of 2025. Who doesn't know me yet? I'm Eva. I'm an adventure elopement photographer, mainly serving my clients in Italy, Dolomites, Lake Garda, Lake Como, Rome, Florence, Tuscany, Sardinia Islands, so wherever you want to go, I'm your person. And I also do the planning and vendor coordination for my couples, basically a three-in-one vendor for my clients. Anyway, but this is not about me. You are here today to listen to Paula. So, Paula, introduce yourself. Who are you?
Hello, I am Paula and I am a past bride of Eva's. When was our elopement? No, I don't remember. It was in October.
It was September, end of September 2025,
Oh, yeah, okay. So
several months ago.
September. It feels like so long ago, but it wasn't that long ago. Just, time works so weird. But yeah, so Eva
6
helped us
months.
plan and photograph the most beautiful elopement. And yeah, I'm here to share more about it.
Yeah. And maybe you can tell a little bit about like what originally made you want to have a vow renewal in the first place.
Yeah, so this was the story of probably a lot of couples who were planning to have a larger wedding in the 2020, if you know, you know what was then happening in the world. And then basically our larger wedding plans got canceled because of COVID. So we just went to the courthouse and had a super small day, and the rules were always confusing and changing every 5 minutes of like how many people you can have
Yeah.
there. So it was just us and our closest family members for the ceremony. And then we had the small picnic celebration because you could only hang out outdoors at that time. So yeah, that kind of wanted me, like I was thinking for a long time that I wanted to do something special again. And for a time I thought I wanted to do, well, we wanted, because he was technically also involved in the decisions, but he was like, whatever
Basically.
makes you happy. So we were kind of thinking like, do we want to do the big wedding actually? Because we liked the idea that it was small and we didn't have all the excess
Mhm.
people, because we realized that we would have invited more people because you kind of have to, versus that we want to have them there and like doing things because it's tradition, not that we wanted to do all those things, but there was like all this pressure coming from like our wedding planner, who was like, we actually had someone help us with like the whole wedding thing. And then there was so much pressure about like all the things that people are doing, what's trending, what's like what you should. And I don't know, if to some extent, maybe it's even good that COVID canceled our wedding.
Yeah.
So
It was like a
we,
destination played its role.
yep. And then now, yeah, we got to do it our way, small again, and this time way more beautiful. Thanks, Eva.
You're welcome. And before we're gonna talk through like what your day looked like. But before we get to that, do you wanna tell us a little bit why you chose Dolomites specifically out of all of the places in the world where you can elope? Why Dolomites?
So, as a marketing manager for photographers, I actually have seen so many beautiful mountainous elopements, and I thought, wow, that's something that I would really like for my day. And as you and I, we are both based in Europe, Dolomites is actually like the most beautiful mountains in Europe. So it just seemed like the natural place to be, and I definitely was not disappointed after seeing it up close.
Yeah, Dolomites is like very magical, very unique. The mountains is not like regular. It's like these dramatic peaks. Like it's so different. Like if you compare it to the regular parts of Alps, for example, it's different and it's very unique. And the weather and the kind of like the moodiness and the vibe that is there. I totally get why people want to elope there. And it's also one of my favorite places in Italy. I like it a lot there. Yeah. Perfect. And well, you come from Latvia. I come from Estonia. We're basically neighbors. There's like 4 hour drive between us, and we both know like we come from countries that are as flat as it gets. We don't have any mountains at all. The highest point in Estonia is 318 meters. That's 1,000 feet. And that's from like sea level. So it's actually more like 300 or 400 feet, like from the bottom to the top of the mountain. So yeah, mountains for us is a big deal. It's like we don't have that.
Yep. Yep. It was so unique to get to experience that because what we have are humps, basically, how we said.
Yeah, it's a hump. Yeah, basically. Yeah. And when we started planning, or you had the idea of eloping or having the vow renewal in the Dolomites, what were your like expectations, or what were you hoping that it would all feel like or be like?
So well, particularly me, my husband is more adventurous than I am, but we mainly wanted to have like these beautiful views, and so that
Hmm.
there would be like a little bit of adventure. But for me, the whole adventure was basically just traveling and going there. For him, it was nice that we also got to hike a bit, and I didn't mind that because the hikes were not horrible. They were like very nice and smooth, and we were prepared with the hiking shoes and stuff. But yeah, we just wanted to be somewhere very beautiful, somewhere unique that we don't see every day, because again, here's no mountains. And yeah, we just wanted to have like a really nice, chill day. Yeah, surrounded by some of the most beautiful landscapes. I literally, my jaw dropped when I saw those mountains in real life because it's like so beautiful and it was so nice.
Yeah. Yeah, every corner is beautiful. Like just the drive there is already like so scenic. Like you don't even have to step out of the car to have those like jaw-dropping moments. Yeah, and since you already had a wedding 5 years ago, was there something you were kind of like hoping to avoid, comparing to your real wedding 5 years ago, or anything?
Yeah, well, I wanted to avoid all the people. No, just kidding.
Yeah,
Well,
I get
I would
that.
I would say just the whole idea of traditional weddings was no longer aligned once I saw what it
Yeah,
can be, because I think now it's becoming more and more popular to elope and do
yeah,
things your way. But in 2020, that kind of started the trend because I think up to this point, people had no idea that you can have like a small intimate day. And I believe the people who actually eloped during that time were like, you know what? I'm kind of happy we didn't need to do the big thing
yeah,
because
yeah.
I cannot imagine wanting to do the big thing now that I thankfully got to do the little thing. I don't know.
Yeah, if it sounds little, but it's actually so much more. Like people think it's either like a small courthouse wedding or like a big wedding with a lot of guests. But adventure elopement, it's like something in between. It's not a small thing. It's actually quite a big event. It's very emotional with all of the planning that I take over, of course. But like it intake. It has so many parts to it, and it's actually quite big, and it feels very big, but it's small because it's intimate. It's very like it's just the two of you, maybe a few guests, but usually it's just a couple. And the rate sounds small, but it's actually still a big wedding emotionally, I'd say.
Yeah, it's definitely a big deal and sort of a small package if we wanted to put like a label on it, but no, it's
Yeah,
still a big deal, yeah. But you just don't need to do any of like the things you don't want to do, the things that are like pushed onto you by, I don't know, the big
society. Yeah.
yeah, the big wedding industry, you know.
Yeah, yeah, and this is actually what I see a lot when couples contact me. Like they tell me quite often that first of all they just don't want to spend like tens of thousands of dollars on one day for entertaining other people, whereas for the same money or way less money they could have a way longer vacation in Italy. It would be your elopement slash honeymoon trip all together, just the two of you. It's way more intentional, way more emotional, and this is one of the main reasons people actually contact me and want to elope in Europe. And yeah, and they also say like they want to have no timeline pressure. That is something that comes with big weddings. It's more like a performance. Yeah, it's like it's you have like minute by minute, you know where you have to be. You don't have the time to actually socialize with any of the guests who are like flying in from abroad, or you don't have the time. You have it's like very strict timeline. But with elopements, it's so much more free. You can do whatever you want to do. You can have it as relaxed as you want. You can have it very stress free, and this is what people are kind of like looking for. So these are like the a few things other people decide to for. Yeah. So but yeah, I'm gonna go through here. But when we started the planning, or you started the planning, was there anything that made you feel overwhelmed planning wise?
So I would say the planning process really didn't get to feel overwhelming for me yet because I met you super early in the whole process and you took things over quite instantaneously. But for the extent I was like, oh my gosh, like how do we even plan everything? How many days we would need in a location, like all the travel time, even choosing the locations, where can you go, like how many people there would be in each location. There was like so many logistics because, of course, when you elope, you kind of want to have this some semblance of privacy. Like you don't want to go to like a super touristic location. At least we didn't. Like maybe some people do, but like go to somewhere that's going to be like super stuffed with people. So these were all kinds of things that were rolling through my mind. But only for a short period of time, because, like I said, we met you quite early in the process, and actually just conversation with you really pushed us to want to do that vow renewal sooner rather than later, because it was always kind of like nice to have in the future. But then we met you and it felt like a match made in heaven. So the plans from that point on happened very quickly because we were all the three of us, me, my husband, and you. We were all so excited to get the show on the road. And then yeah, you made the planning process so easy. I don't even know how you do it. Maybe you want to tell us how you made it so easy.
I'm glad to hear that it was very stress free for you. Like this is my goal. This is what I want my couples to feel like very stress free. They can relax, and like when it comes to elopement planning, couples are doing it for the first and hopefully for the last time in their life. I know I never expect them to know that kind of stuff that goes into the planning, and they don't need to learn that because this is like once in a lifetime thing. But for me, it's like the more I do it, the more easier it gets for me because I'm so used to doing that. But like, I can tell you what I did. So, the first thing I sent you the elopement planning questionnaire, which you filled. Based on that, I got a good understanding of like what you want out of your day, and based on this, I put together like a couple of itinerary options for you to choose from. What you like, what you don't like. We could like tweak it around a little bit later, and I presented you the ideas. And once we had that set, what we want to do on the day, then I sent you a lodging recommendation. So we chose an Airbnb with a beautiful balcony and mountain views. So that was quite cool because we were also planning to do like indoor photos of getting ready and first look. So the accommodation should be nice looking too. And then I usually also send my couples like vendor recommendation, hair makeup artist, florist for the bouquet and the boutonniere, and also bakery if they want to have a wedding cake, or activity service provider from yeah, hot air balloon pilots to helicopter pilots to snowmobiling or boat ride operators and stuff like that. So I give all of those recommendations to my clients, and then I put together the itinerary also based yeah, coming back to the itinerary. I go through it with a lot of things in my mind. I always check the sunrise and sunset times, and not just the general ones, but like the location specific ones. For example, in the Dolomites, the lake where you had your vow renewal where we did the ceremony. The general sunset time right now there is 6 p.m. But in the area in the Dolomites. But if you are down there in this valley, sunset's actually 2 hours before that. So if you don't know that kind of stuff, you can actually show up there in complete darkness because it's down in the valley and the mountains block the sun very early. Then I took. Of course, I checked how long the driving times are. I took into considerations that some roads have traffic jams more often than not, some buffer times, lunch break, toilet breaks, stuff like that. So I built that all into the itinerary. So there's a lot that goes into that, and how it logistically makes the most sense. Oh, yeah, it's quite the process. I know it sounds overwhelming. It sometimes is for me too, but I usually get a quite a good timeline put together for my clients. Yeah.
Yeah, but what I can say then from my side, the planning was going on a couple of calls with Eva, talking through everything. Like she showed up on the calls. Well, you, for people watching, but you already showed up to all the calls super prepared. Like you presented photos of the locations, all the ideas. You already were so prepared. We just needed to like a quiz, just check A or B, basically what we would like.
Yeah.
And it was all done for us. And all we like, even if we needed to book something, everything went through you. So I never needed to worry about like what will I need to pay? Like you already had everything like listed and there were no like hidden costs or anything. I knew exactly what was going to happen and like we just needed to basically swipe the card and everything was ready. Like I don't even remember anything that I would like stress about or anything at all. Like it was so chill.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds amazing. Not
Even
gonna
you
lie.
want to book you now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. The planning is a big part of it all, and it's actually the main part of what I do. But my main goal is really to make it very easy for the couples, so that it doesn't get overwhelming, especially if you're not from Italy, like you're somewhere from abroad. There are like some cultural things to bear in mind, like. In the afternoons, they close the restaurants like from 2:30 till 7 o'clock. So if you're like late with lunch, you might not get lunch at all, warm lunch at least. And yeah, I don't expect you to know that part. But did you have like some? What was like your biggest fear, or when you were starting to plan something in Italy, like being abroad? Did you have any fears?
So technically, I don't remember having like big fears over the whole thing because you took such good care of like explaining how things work. I think what helped was that we were already married, so like the legal part was out of the question, and I didn't need to worry about, oh my gosh, how how to make it legal in Italy. I guess my main anxieties were just in general, as an anxious person, what comes with traveling, like losing the luggage in case, like with your dress and all things inside. And like, what if you need some medicine, but like you always pack a first aid kit? So it was just like these silly fears. But overall, there was like nothing that I was too worried about. But perhaps you can tell what people are normally worried about when they go to Italy and like how to get married legally in Italy or something.
Yeah, so basically the same things you mentioned, like general fears about traveling, like things that may happen, flights being delayed, luggage getting lost, stuff like that. But I I'd like to think I prepare my clients for that. So they do get guides from me. One of them is how to pack your wedding dress. Basically, what it goes over is that all of the things you need for the wedding should be in a hand luggage. So if your luggage gets lost, the luggage you give away at the airport, if that gets lost, you can still have your wedding. So like dress, rings, stuff that should be in your hand luggage always with you, if possible at all. And also like this guide goes over like how to get it into the airplane and where to store it there and so on. And the wow riding guide and Italy travel guide. So I do try to like prepare my clients for questions like that too, so that they are not afraid of those things anymore. Yeah, and getting legally married in Italy. I haven't had a couple up until now who wanted to actually do the legal process in Italy, because it's possible for foreigners to get married in Italy, but it's quite a hassle to be honest. So you need like a lot of paperwork that needs to be stamped by an embassy, translated into Italian, and then you have to show up a few days before. You need two witnesses. You have to do it in a courthouse, which is like the sad part. You cannot actually legally get married out in the nature anyway. So even if you want to elope in the Dolomites, you still have to go to a courthouse to do the signing of the paperwork there. So basically, then it's kind of easier to do it in your home state, the legal part, and then just travel to Italy, do the vows, rings exchange, champagne pop, and cake eating, and everything else wedding related in Italy, and then just the signing part is done in the home country. It's easier and stress free.
100% agree.
Yeah.
Literally no stress about that.
Yeah. So I have another question. Why did you decide to work with me? Out of all of the photographers that are out there, like, I mean, there's a lot to choose from. There are a lot of people to choose from. Yeah.
Well, first and foremost, the personality, because we met in a marketing call where we were both together in a group and we just started chatting with each other. And somehow it just felt so natural. And I didn't even think to look for another photographer, even though like you planted the seed, like replanted the seed of the Italian vow renewal that I really wanted to do because I was looking at all your photos before, and Italy is just such a romantic destination for a lot of people. Italy would
Yeah.
be the top one place where you think, this is romance, this is like where you get married. And then I don't know, it never even crossed my mind not to hire you exactly after like our conversations together. So yeah, it just felt like, I don't know, destiny to meet you right there and then and like
Yeah,
make
it
it
really
all
was.
happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a funny call. Like we clicked like instantly when we started talking about that. It was like, oh, can we make it work? Like I think we pulled it off in like 2, 3 months or something like that. Everything was done that quite fast actually. So yeah, I was like, she wants to go. I want to go. We vibe. So let's do this.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, that was a good choice. I'm not regretting that.
No, 100% agree. And what I like is that now we are basically friends for life because, well, we
Yeah.
also live very near each other. It's like just, a spit away.
Yeah, we have already planned to meet in the summer.
Yes, yes, we have.
Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah, it's so cool to feel like you're actually friends with the person. It's not just like me as a vendor, like strict professional, something like that. We're actually friends. We chat like on WhatsApp like very often.
Yeah.
So yeah, we become friends with the couples, and that's like heartwarming. So yeah, and yeah.
Would you say that's like the main reason other people hire you is the personality or like all the other things you offer?
I think it's combination of all of them. Like, well, my photos for sure. They like my photography style. Probably the fact that I do full on planning for them. Like I take everything over from them, so that is very very easy for my clients. And yeah, the personality is one of the main reasons that I am very energetic, very friendly. I always answer to emails and WhatsApp messages very fast. Like it's actually a thing that it gets taken credit for. I feel like when I'm doing like vendor research, I can see how fast other vendors reply back. And it's actually more often than not, the reply times are very, very long. So I think that is something that maybe differentiates, makes me different, that I do answer rather fast to everything, and clients actually can get in touch with me very easily.
Yeah,
Uh,
100%.
yeah.
From what I've seen online, I think communication nowadays is the very big differentiator
Yeah.
because that helps you become more trustworthy because like I never worried about that you would, I don't know, run away with our money or something because like you were always always prepared for everything. You always answered very timely. I didn't ever
Thank
worry
you.
about you disappearing at all.
Yeah, yeah. I yeah. It's like a whole another story with like the scamming that is going on nowadays, and like in every industry, and the AI scams and stuff like that. But we don't have to get into that. Maybe we can talk about what we did on the elopement day, just to give people an understanding what the day looked like. So,
Mhm.
do you want to do that?
Sure. If I forget something, then please
I'll jump
chime
in.
in. Because it's like this was such a magical day, and I think at some point you get overwhelmed by emotion that you don't exactly remember everything that happened.
Yeah,
And then that's why I'm happy we have the photos, because now I'm like, oh right, like this part. I kind of forgot about this moment.
yeah.
But yeah, so the day before I steamed the dress because it got wrinkly during travel. So everyone listening, please remember to like take a clothes steamer, because not all hotels or Airbnbs will have it. Like you will probably need to steam your clothes and do it the day
Yeah.
before, because it takes way longer
Quite
than
a
you
bit of
think it
time.
does. It took so long. It's crazy. And then, well, luckily we booked this amazing Airbnb thanks to Eva, because it was like gorgeous. It was a beautiful place to get ready and for our first look. And so we got ready separately so we could have that first look. So we had two bedrooms, so one for each of us in that, well, one for him, one for me, for that occasion, so we could get ready. And then, yeah, we had a nice first look on the balcony, because the balcony, like the views, when we could just, because we were there for longer than just the elopement days, my husband and I, we made like a little trip out of it. So it was nice to stay there with like those mountain views, even when the weather was horrible, because like,
Yeah.
it was great. So
We're gonna
then,
come back to the weather.
yes, oh my gosh, that really
Oh, the
was
weather.
something. Yeah. So what I loved from that moment of getting of the first look, I was so excited to see him. And like I had quite a low cut dress. And Eva got the funniest photos of like his face when he saw me in the dress. And like that moment felt like a blur because I was overcome with emotions. But then when I
Yeah.
saw that in the photos, it was so good.
This was so hilarious. I was like, I need to leave that into the gallery. The moment he looks at you and sees you in a dress and you with your boobylicious dress. His face was like, wow. That was so cool. Yeah.
It really was. And then we spent a bit of time like having breakfast together and writing our vows. And then we went to Lake Dobiaco, I believe was the
Yeah.
name. And Eva was driving us the whole time, which was great because that was one of our worries actually going back. I forgot that we were actually quite worried about the driving because the mountain that the tiny mountain roads and like just the driving and all the elevations and stuff like that was kind of a scary thought for me, not for my husband. He would have done it. I was like, no way. But he was
Yeah.
happy to be a passenger princess for a while. So we went to Lake Dobiaco for the ceremony, and it was very, very, very beautiful. And we even got to see some swans because, like,
Yeah.
why not? They were just like a paid character, basically, unexpected.
Yeah.
And then we had our ceremony, and it was cute because the ceremony was like further down the trail than where we saw the swans originally. And then while we were exchanging our vows, the swans came over again, which was so cute.
Yeah.
And
They're your wedding
then,
guests, the surprise
yes,
guests. Yeah.
they were so cute. Oh my gosh, best guests. I would change all of my aunts just to get those swans again. You know?
Sorry,
Sorry,
ants.
sorry,
Sorry.
not sorry. But yeah, and then we spent some time there, which was nice, like lots of pretty photos and lots of nice people along the way. And then we went to have some lunch. I don't remember the name of the place. Was it
Misurina. Around like
Misurina?
Misurina, yeah.
Yes. So there was some delicious carbonara because I told Eva that carbonara is my favorite food in Italy. And then she made sure that we find a place where there's some of the better carbonaras in the nearby area. So that was very nice and thoughtful. And then after the lunch, we went, where did we go? Oh, Paso Jiao, right?
Yeah.
That was the name. I
Yeah,
wanted to remember
exactly.
the names. Yes, and then like we wandered around there, which was again nice and scenic, although it was quite foggy. It was still very nice and scenic. And we took some nice photos then later on with some lanterns. And then we went back to the city of Dobiaco for dinner and tiramisu because we didn't want cake. We wanted tiramisu for our dessert. So we wandered into a small restaurant and we got to share our final dessert of the day. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That was it basically in a nutshell. Oh, we forgot. On the way back from Passagiao, we actually went to another lake for you to do the first dance. Yeah,
Right. Yes,
yeah,
we did
yeah.
that.
So you had like multiple stops. We had the apartment, we had the Tobiaco Lake for the ceremony. You saw Lake Misurina, you saw Passagiao, you saw another lake, a tiny lake, and then Tobiaco. 6 places in one day, actually. Yeah, quite a
Wow.
bit. Yeah.
Quite a bit, yeah.
Perfect. And when you think back on the day now, what's like the first thing that pops in your mind if you think about like what do you remember the most?
I what really stuck with me the most were the swans because like my husband and I we always liked swans, and when we lived in England for a few years we actually lived on a property like apartment property that was called Swan Key because there
I
were like
didn't know
swans
that.
living nearby in the what was it, like a small river actually. I don't remember what water it was, but it was like a small water that had some swans there. So that was kind of, I almost felt like, again, some destiny, like a little blessing to
Yeah,
see these swans. So it felt extra special actually to see them that day. And then when they
yeah,
came around for the ceremony, it was seriously like, what even? How does that happen? Like a fairy tale.
yeah. That was a destiny. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
so cool. But sometimes like nature plays something in your hands. It's like, wow. Yeah, nothing. It's not planned. It just happens, and you're like, wow, that was meant to be that way. It's a sign of something.
Yeah. Yeah. Nature can play many tricks on you during the day, whether they are good or bad, like up to you how you see it.
Depends on how you look at it. Yeah. And how did it feel to like exchange your vows with those mountain views behind you?
Oh, I would say it was absolutely amazing because what we can compare, we got married in a courthouse where we couldn't exchange private vows. It
Yeah.
was like a pre-written script and, just in and out sort of thing. And then when you actually get to say all these nice, meaningful things to each other, and you are surrounded not by like gray, ugly walls, but by actually mountains and like a alpine lake, then it was like super special.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like the mountains, they add so much epicness to it all. It's like everything feels so much more powerful when you're surrounded by the mountains. It's like so cool. And also one thing I've noticed, like the vows you do at an elopement are so much more intimate, so much more in depth, so much more personal than the vows you would ever do like at a courthouse or like at a bigger wedding, because there you have to like think, can my grandma really hear that? Should she? Or you're kind of like holding yourself back of some things. But if it's just the two of you, nobody else around, and even I don't hear the vows because I'm giving you privacy. I'm going to be standing way further away from you. And it's just the two of you. And you can actually say the things you really mean and want to say, even if there are like some kinky inside jokes. Like you can do that. And it's so cool to see that like they all like cry and laugh when they do their vows. It's so cool to see. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So let's see. Was there something that surprised you about the experience?
Hmm. I would say we were pretty prepared for everything because you did like a very good planning and ahead of time and sending us all sorts of guides so we would be totally prepared for whatever the day could potentially throw at us. So in that way, I was not really surprised by anything. But what was kind of, I suppose, a pleasant surprise were that the people around were like really, really sweet. Like we didn't see that many people, but it was like very cute how they were all like in the language. You'd remember the word, I don't remember the word, but it was like
Auguri.
congratulations.
Yeah, the
That one.
congratulations
Yeah,
in
so it was
Italy,
like
Italian. Yeah.
it was so nice and like it made the day feel even more special somehow. Like it was just sweet. All these people that are strangers, but they're like felt like they are genuinely excited for you as well, even though they don't know you. And it just kind of,
Yeah.
I don't know, one of those moments that restores faith in humanity. That it just was so nice.
Yeah, they are really nice. Like I've never seen anybody like look weirdly on the couples or anything. They're all like very cheering you on and supporting you and wishing you well, which is very sweet. I think so too. Yeah. Do we want to talk about the weather?
I think so. We kind of have to.
Well, we can't avoid that topic for long.
No.
So on the elopement day, the weather was moody. So it changed like every half an hour. We had like something like I think it even faster than half an hour. We got rain, fog, wind, sunshine, clouds, all like changing very fast. So we got it all. Like, how did that make you feel?
On the day, we were like, as any couple would hope to get like the best weather possible for the day. Like sometimes it feels like, oh my gosh, rain is like the worst possible thing that could happen. But actually, to some extent, even though rain happened, we got really lucky that most of it was while we were driving. So like you managed to time it perfectly, like tracking with the apps of when we should be driving and when we can be outdoors. And luckily for the big moments like the ceremony, the weather was pretty nice and clear. Well, even though
Yeah.
it was a bit moody, it was still like clear and warm, which was nice because I was hoping to not need to wear my jacket for like the ceremony.
Yeah.
So that was all nice. And what else? Yeah, the weather overall was quite surprising in that way, because you kind of hoped that it would be better, but at the same time, I love the photos, how they came out, and I would not change a thing about the day anyway, because like the fog, even though we didn't get to see like the peaks to the fullest because of the fog, it
Yeah.
was still so nice. Because
Yeah.
it just you just feel so small in like this big place, and even like with that fog rolling in, it's kind of like magical, mystical, like in a fairy tale land, and it
Yeah,
was
I remember
it
you
was very
telling like
nice.
multiple times, this is Twilight vibes, Twilight vibes.
Yes, exactly. That was kind of, I don't know, this thing for millennial girls of Twilight, and it was just like the perfect hoa hoa season, as we call it. It was just great.
Yeah, but that's the thing with weather. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. You just have to accept what it is and take the best out of the given situation, and that's it. And you just have to be like prepared with your clothings and gears. And we had like this see-through umbrellas that we used for some photos. And yeah, we did most of the driving in the car while it was raining, and we were outside when it was raining less. So we did kind of like manage it all to be not as wet. To be, yeah, yeah. Yeah, but that's the thing with the weather. We actually pivoted because of that. So the day before, we decided to change the end of the day. We were originally planning to do a mountain hike in the evening, but since it was we saw from the forecast that it's gonna be raining throughout the entire day, we decided to not do that because this trail is not very good when it's wet. It kind of gets slippery. So yeah, we decided to go to Topiaco instead. So, how do you feel about that pivot?
I will say, actually, I very much enjoyed that pivot because overall, the end of the day felt way more us because we are like this chill couple that likes to, have smaller adventures. Probably my husband would like larger adventures, but I am definitely the chill girl. And
Yeah.
that end of day felt more what we normally do. Like we stay indoors, we stay cozy, we enjoy good food. And then it kind of felt more like us in that sense as well. So it was like a good pivot. And I will say that I was actually probably because of all that fresh mountain air and just like the
Hmm.
the altitude was getting to me during those days as well. Like you remember, I had to sit in the front seat with you because I
Yeah.
was just feeling a bit nauseous when driving. So overall, like what people should be prepared that, well, my husband felt nothing, like he was fine all the time. But like for some people, like these things can hit you a little bit physically. So I I was quite happy that we ended up pivoting because I don't know if I would have actually had the power to do another hike afterwards. So yeah, it was a good pivot.
Yeah, I agree. Like, yeah, people underestimate like the fresh air actually makes you quite tired, and if you've been outdoors the entire day, then you do need to bear in mind that that's gonna exhaust you, and and it's okay to pivot. Like sometimes you feel like, okay, I don't feel like doing this today. That's okay to pivot. You can just let me know. I'm gonna find us something else to do or somewhere else to go or yeah, whatever you want to do. Basically, we can pivot, and that's like totally fine. And I have that built into the timelines, like at all times that we can pivot without like, yeah. It doesn't have to be like at bigger weddings where you have minute by minute where you need to be and what you need to do and what you need to say. So it's kind of like, yeah, you can do whatever you want to do.
Yeah. Which is something I really appreciated about the experience of how free it felt. Like we even were driving along the road and then we noticed this old stone bridge and we made time
Oh,
for
you're
that
right.
because it was like so nice to just stop and you were like, sure, this would make great photos. Like we don't have to be anywhere. Well,
Yeah.
we can do anything, which was really cool because it really felt so liberating and adding to the part of like me not being very adventurous. It's just like a little adventure, to make a little
Yeah, something
roadside
unplanned.
stop. Yeah, yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, that bridge was really cool. I think I never actually noticed it before until you were like in the car. Oh, we want to go there. I was like, okay, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, which I already know the answer for. But what's the funniest moment of the day?
Stop. This is like like a compromising information. But isn't it like weird that the funniest, like some of the most fun we had on the elopement was actually with you, not with, with each other? No, just kidding. But like we had this inside joke that won't make sense to anyone else, but like it just kept getting worse and worse, and we really built upon it throughout the day. And just we were at one point laughing so hard, all three of us, that we were like crying, our stomachs were hurting, and Eva needed to pull over and stop driving because she couldn't see anything through the tears. And that was like, it was one of the more memorable moments of the whole experience. It
I
was so
think so
funny.
too. When I think back at your elopement, this is the moment I remember as the first thing. Like the moment where we were driving. It was like Serpentine Road too, and like we were laughing so damn hard that I was literally crying my eyes out from happy tears, of course. And I really needed to like stop driving because I couldn't see anything anymore. It was so funny. We just needed to stop and like laugh it all out. It's like you can't stop laughing. It's just continuous, continuous,
Yeah.
continuous. Oh, it was so much fun. Yeah.
It was the best. Oh my gosh, it really was.
Oh, yeah, that was funny. We could do that again.
We
By the
should.
way, we still continue this inside joke now,
Yeah.
6 months later. That still goes on.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay. What advice would you give to future couples thinking about eloping
Mhm.
in Italy or having a vow renewal in the Dolomites?
So Firstly, I cannot emphasize enough how important it is to hire you, or at least someone like you,
Oh.
but definitely you, because there's just so many things that you need to think of, and even things like driving in those roads, like some like you took care of the driving part, and I would have been scared shitlessly, pardon my French, to go on roads like that. And
Yeah.
like seeing how ill I was feeling, it was nice to have someone take care of that, and just thinking of all logistics, like planning how much time it takes from road point A to point B. Like you literally were thinking of everything that I would have been, I don't know, sitting for hours on Google Maps and still would not understand what I'm doing. Like that's just so important. And what else? Definitely good hiking shoes, because the trails, like because of the
That's a big
weather,
one.
the trails can get slippery and they are rocky. It's just like the terrain is very varied. So good hiking shoes will save your feet. Don't
Yeah.
try to hike in heels. Like I would not recommend that. You can take them with you for some place, but like hiking shoes looked really pretty with a dress, so I would
Yeah.
recommend that
It
anyway.
does actually. Yeah.
Yeah. And the last thing, what really stuck with me was just the Airbnb, because we were eloping for one day out of the five that we were staying. So that Airbnb was just a really nice place to still enjoy the mountain views as well, but also because of the weather, because of it changing so quickly, it was so important that we had a potential backup plan, because we may have needed, if the weather had been on our day, like it was a couple days later, we would probably want to stay indoors because it was
Yeah.
snowy, it was windy, it was horrible. So we probably would have wanted to stay inside way more.
Yeah.
So it
Really.
is
Yeah.
just
On the
so
next day, it
important.
actually snowed quite a bit, which was like very cool actually. End of September, and you're getting like full on snow in the Dolomites. Kind of cool too. Like to experience that, not to be outdoors in that moment, but
Yeah, I was
yeah.
happy we were not outdoors for that moment, but yeah, I would definitely recommend splurging. Like if you are splurging already on your elopement, like technically we were more of a DIY couple, because I have a specific way I do my hair, because I am a curly person and I don't trust hairdressers with my hair anymore. So like that's something that I do. And the makeup, I self-taught how to do makeup for myself, because I wanted to, it was like a good skill.
Yeah, and
Anyway,
it looked
so
beautiful. Yeah.
thank you. But yeah, so we were more of a DIY couple on lots of ways, which is a good way to potentially save some money. But what was important for us was like a nice place to stay, because we're making a holiday slash vacation out of it.
Yeah.
And you, as the photographer slash planner, that was like a no-brainer, that you want to invest in the things that really, really matter. And then the rest of the details you can DIY and it will still be very beautiful too.
Yeah, yeah. And that's one thing actually that I love about the elopements is you don't need much. You actually don't need much compared to a bigger wedding. You just need yeah, you usually do your hair and makeup. Maybe you get some flowers or you I have like a you had like a dried flower bouquet that you
Mm.
can have later in your home too, or there have been also couples with a fake flower bouquet. And you need well not much. The nature is your backdrop. You don't need like big arches of flowers or something because the nature does its thing, and yeah, and it's simple. And simple is a strong thing about like elopements. This is like what it's about: simplicity. Like I love that.
Mm. Yeah.
Oh, I thought I'm gonna show one picture. I have an album here. Wait, I'm gonna take off the blur of my camera. Where's that? So we're gonna show a picture. This was their ceremony location.
Ooh la
That's
la.
the lake. Yeah. And then here are the swans. Here's one. And then here we have the Moody mountain location where we went to.
Ah, so nice.
Just a few photos. Perfect. So And now, how do you feel? Are you glad that you chose to have a vow renewal 5 years after your actual wedding?
Yes. Oh, sorry, my cat in the background is going crazy. But yes, I was very happy for choosing the vow renewal, and I'm glad that we did it sooner rather than later. Because I don't know, the cards fell right into the place for that all to happen. But yeah, I
Yeah.
after I think people kind of think that, it's just signing papers is all that it takes to get married. But like, I don't know, I wouldn't change that experience for the world. To be there with the love of your life in a beautiful location and getting to actually share a meaningful adventure with each other, I would want to do it every year. Like, you just give me a reason and I will be there. And like, Eva should plan like one in Rome, one in Tuscany. Like, I'm ready to go back to Italy
Maybe
every
I
year
should
for
start
our renewal.
offering like multi packages, like every, I don't know, 5 years, you get a vow renewal with me or something
Please.
like that. But yeah, I mean, it's so cool to like you actually take time out of your lives to go to this beautiful place and actually say those things to each other, which is something that a lot of couples kind of like stop saying in when the years come. And I have one other bride with a vow renewal, also 5 years after they got married, and after they did that, she said, "I didn't even know how much I needed this." So when you
Mm.
were there and what it gave to your relationship, then it was like very powerful, motivating. It was like a boost for your relationship. So yeah, that was very much needed for them. And I think you felt the same way. Like you kind of need to take time for each other.
Yeah, I mean, we are quite a sweet couple overall, but the vows he said to me then were some words that was feeling but doesn't say that often in those exact words, and it was really special, and I'm glad we got to do it. And to actually let you in on a little secret for my vows, I
Mhm.
quoted Friends.
I love Friends. Yeah. What did you
It
say?
It was that moment where Joey was writing Monica and Chandler's wedding speech and
No,
for these people, you have a lot of like having and holding and cherishing and
sharing
all.
and giving.
Yeah, so I wrote that in the wow book to read to my husband, and I thought I'm like being like all cute and funny, and he actually made me cry so hard because he was so sweet. It was so cute.
Oh my god, so cool. Oh my god. Now I'm kind of sad I didn't hear you.
That's the beauty of the
Yeah,
secrecy.
it's the secrecy. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's your moment. It's not for me. That's your moment.
But now I could surprise you, so that was a win-win.
Yeah, thank you for that. And now you had like a courthouse wedding, and you've also had a vow renewal in an elopement style. How would you compare those, or like, is there anything like you would recommend?
So I would recommend to everyone to go and have a vow renewal somewhere nice because after seeing like what is possible when you actually experience a vow renewal, I am so glad we did it because the courthouse it was ugly. It really was ugly. Like, I'm sorry, courthouses, unless you are in like that one very nice one in San Francisco that I've seen, but like courthouses are quite ugly. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And it just felt so impersonal. But then you get to do a vow renewal and it was like all personal and beautiful and the day completely around us. Because even to that courthouse elopement, we still brought along family because we didn't actually even want to bring family to the courthouse, but that was where we got pressured into bringing family to the courthouse as well. So we just wanted to celebrate with them, but there we go. So then this was actually our chance to have a day completely exactly how we wanted. Even if we did end up pivoting with the weather and all the things, in the end, it was still the perfect day, exactly how we maybe didn't even know we want, but it was what we wanted
It
in the
was.
end, you
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. I'm so glad to hear that you're like, having this experience on top of your previous experience, it's kind of like making everything good now.
Yes.
It's fixing things.
Yes.
And how does it all feel in your memory now, 6 months later? Do you have any regrets? Would you do it again? Basically, yeah, you said you'd do it again.
I would
I know
so
you
do it
would.
again. I don't have any regrets at all. Maybe the only thing was to maybe make the trip even longer so we could maybe spend more time like while we are there, just make the honeymoon part longer.
Yeah.
But other than that, I would not change a thing. It was absolutely perfect and all thanks to you. So
Oh, thank you. But if you were to do the honeymooning part longer, would you be like longer in the Dolomites, or would you like to go to some other area in Italy? Um,
that's a good question because I feel like there were so many things that you can do in Dolomites, but
mhm.
probably actually, that time of year with the weather we were having, probably good thing we didn't stay much longer in case it would keep snowing. But so maybe the Dolomites would not be the best option to extend the trip in.
Mm,
But going to Rome, to Tuscany, to like some of the nice cities, even Venice, because we actually flew into Venice. So
yeah,
maybe like having extra time to spend in, let's say, even Venice. But other than that, it just gives us a goal to like work towards and go visit more places later on. So it's like it's not really a regret, but like probably a little wish to do later. So overall, I don't think I have any regrets or any complaints or anything like that at all.
perfect. Then we're gonna see each other in 4.5 years in Venice.
Probably, you never know.
That would be cool. I'd do that.
Although Madeira is now starting to sound very nice. If you know, you know.
I know. I'm gonna go there in 2 weeks. I'm so excited. Like, oh, my bucket list location. Oh, it's gonna be so cool. So cool. Yeah. I can't wait to like take the photos and to share the photos. Very excited. But about your day, we had some listeners' questions. So one of them was, did you wear your original wedding dress? Dear vow renewal.
I did not wear my original wedding dress actually because the one we bought was for 2020 and the vow renewal was in 2025 and bodies change, boobs get bigger. So you need to
Not a bad thing.
which is not a bad thing now. And yeah, and actually, this is another thing where my dress, the original dress, I quite liked. But not only your body changes, but you change as a person. And then the dress for my elopement actually felt way more me, the way I
Mm,
am right now. If I wore the princessy dress from 5 years ago, I would not be feeling myself as much, even though it was objectively a nice dress. But this one felt
yeah.
more like me. And also, I got to have the experience of buying this dress with my best friend, which I didn't have
Mm.
back in the day due to COVID. So overall, everything again lined up perfectly, and I got the
It really
dress of
sounds
my
that way.
dreams. Yes, it was perfect.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that. Like, I think like wedding dress shopping is such a cool experience, and the fact that you get to do that more than once in your life, and you don't have to divorce someone to do that, it's so cool. I mean, I want to go
Yes,
wedding dress shopping too. I don't want to divorce my husband, but I want to go wedding dress shopping. Yeah, it's so cool to see that. And I mean, being in a wedding dress, it's like a different feeling. It's such a cool feeling. You feel so pretty. Yeah.
yes.
So let's take another question that was written to us. Did you look at any other places besides the Dolomites as well for your vow renewal?
I we mainly wanted Dolomites, and that was like our initial place where we wanted to go. But you did send us preview galleries of other places in case we wanted to change our mind. And like Tuscany was something a place that I really liked with those rolling hills and the beautiful views and vineyards. Like it was a beautiful aesthetic as well.
Hmm.
But yeah, Dolomites still beat beat those out of the park 100%.
Yeah, they have more mountains.
Yeah.
Tuscany has like hills, but not mountains. Yeah. Both are very beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. What else do we have here? Do you feel your photos captured how the day really felt? That's a good one.
Yeah, I
That's
feel
a
like
good
they
question.
definitely captured how it felt. Because like the way you were taking our photos, like you let us be and like do our thing. So we were like giggling and cuddling, and it was like it felt like us. And then that moment where he saw me in the dress was like that moment was like amazing. So yeah, the only thing that like even though the photos are beautiful with nature, I still think that that's something you cannot fully capture nature wise, like you have to be there to see, because like that, to see and feel, like it's just a
Yeah,
feeling, it's not even a visual thing to just see the
yeah,
mountains, you have to be there. But feeling wise, like just our faces and like the looks of pure love, you could just read them from the photos. So I would say that yeah, the photos really captured everything perfectly.
yeah. I agree. Like when I look back at your photos, they kind of like take me back there too, like how it felt. But I'm gonna add to that question. My own question is like, when you looked at the photos, did you feel like, yeah, that's me, that's how I was, or where you're like, who's that?
No, it definitely felt like me because I know I am quite a cheeky person, and like you could tell my little cheeky grin, or like when I'm, I don't know, being a bit naughty, whispering things in like my husband's ears, like you can
Oh
just
yeah, I
tell
love
it's
those
so
photos.
me. Or like when we are like trying to lick each other's cheeks or something, like all of those moments, just so real.
Yeah, that was very real. Oh yeah, I love that when you did that. It was so funny, so like so pure. It
Yeah.
came so naturally. Like, yeah, I'm gonna lick your ear. Oh yeah, yeah. Then another question written to us was, how did it feel to be photographed? Photographed. Yeah,
Yeah, so at first we were kind of like we have only been in front of the camera kind of once for our courthouse elopement, which was
yeah,
done by our friend, so it wasn't even a professional thing at all. So we were just, we didn't know what we were doing. But like
yeah,
with you, we were kind of already just moving through the day and you're just capturing us, so it didn't feel like a photo shoot at all. Like we're just walking somewhere nice, and like suddenly I see the gallery and it's like, oh wow, you got like these nice photos. But also, you were always like, the one big thing is like, where do we put our hands? Like you never know what to do with your hands. But like you always kind of guided us through those moments of when we did have some those post portraits, like you guided us through it, so we never were like confused of how it looks or what we need to do. So in that way we felt supported, but also again it didn't feel like a complete photo shoot because most of the time you just let us be and enjoy the day, and like we got beautiful photos from just natural moments of being with each other, and like you don't need to have like a it be like a photo shoot. So
yeah. A full day photo shoot, that would be exhausting. Like for myself, even being in front of the camera for an hour, I'm like, I don't know how to be. But I
yeah.
mean, it's about the experience. You need to have time to actually take it all in, enjoy each other's company. It's not about the photos only, it's about the entire experience. Yeah. And I like guiding people. Yeah. And about the hands, the kinky photographers joke that hands need a job.
Yes.
Yeah, hands need a job. As from the moment you let them be loose, it kind of looks funny. So you need to give them a job to do. Usually, it's holding a bouquet, for example, or like wrapping it around your husband's neck, or doing like anything with the hand, just touching the hair. Anything works. So yeah, I'm gonna give you tips on what to do. Yeah.
Mhm.
So we touched a little bit about the crowds, but there's a question: what were the crowds like?
So actually, the crowds were not very bad because we already had pre-discussed with you that we would be going to Lake Dobiako versus Lake Bryas to avoid crowds as well, because Lake Bryas was very crowded. And actually, Lake Dobiako was very, 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 very beautiful on its own. Like,
Yeah.
like you don't have to go to the super popular locations. There are so many hidden gems. Yeah, so and even when we did see some people, it was still very nice because there were not a lot of people in the first place, but the ones that we met were so respectful. Like if there was a chance for them to avoid us, like go around in a circle, they would, to like
Yeah.
not intervene with the moments. But then when they did see us, they were always like very sweet and offered us like congratulations and warm smiles, and it was just so
Yeah.
nice. So yeah, I really actually enjoyed seeing the other people along the way. It was very nice.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. They're so nice. They're very friendly, and it's nice to get like congratulated like in Italian language in Italy. It's kind of like, yeah, and it makes it easier if the crowds are people you don't know. If they're like family members and friends, it's like a different feeling. But with people you don't know, it's kind of like more easily acceptable. Yeah,
Yeah, I would agree. Somehow that's true.
yeah. But like crowd wise, we just as like background information, there are like a lot of decisions that make it possible to avoid crowds. Like for example, we eloped it within the week, which always makes it less crowded, because on the weekends, like the domestic tourism rises too, like Italians travel in Italy too on the weekends, so that makes like all touristy locations even more touristy. There are more people, so always I do the elopements within the week if possible at all. And the second thing is choosing the right locations for the ceremony. For example, this is the time where the privacy is the most important, so that you could say your vows to each other like in a calm setting without anybody like walking around. Yeah, knowing places that are more secluded is crucial here for the ceremony. And yeah, just choosing the right time of the day to go, like specific locations. As you mentioned, we excluded late brides from the options because we couldn't go there early in the morning, because there's like just one slot per morning to do the ceremony there, and it's very crowded throughout the rest of the day. So I wouldn't recommend going there. We visited, actually, you visited Bryce on another day there. You saw how many people there were.
Yes,
Yeah.
many, many people.
Yeah, and Tobayaco is very close by. It's way less known, very much more private, and it has a different vibe too. I think like it has more like this secluded, secret vibe. Yeah,
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
that. Yeah, cool. So I think we can like so slowly start to wrap it up. Is there anything else you wanna share with the couples who are thinking about eloping or having a vow renewal?
Well, not to be your sale like your walking billboard, but I do want to I do want people to hear who are listening to this that Eva is amazing because she will plan the whole thing. You won't need to worry about anything at all. And it just makes the world of difference to have such a special experience, make it even less stressful. Yeah, it's just amazing. And especially as a person who, like, I am a generally anxious over planning person, and if even a person like me felt completely safe and taken care of, that I didn't need to worry about a single thing, then, like, you have to work with Eva, or at least someone like Eva,
Thank
but
you.
preferably Eva. So
Thank you. It's so
that's my main
sweet.
recommendation.
I have like a tear coming in my eye.
Oh,
It's so sweet. Thank you. It means the world to me that you're like happy with the entire experience, and like, yeah, thank you. Thank you.
100%. Love you.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing your story, and I hope it inspired people who are thinking about eloping or having a vow renewal in the Dolomites, in Italy in general, or in Europe in general. I do travel to other countries as well. And yeah, if you want to discuss your elopement more, you can send me a message on Instagram, TikTok, or you can get in touch with me through my website, elopementswitheva.com, and let me know if you have any questions. And also, if you have any questions to Paula, feel free to reach out either directly with her, or you can reach out to me and I can ask Paula. So you'll get your answer, the answer to your question. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so happy we actually did that finally.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Bye.
Okay. Take care. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.